up, Elevate fam? This is Christina D. Eskridge here from Elevate Theater Company. We are interviewing Jamie Roach as 1 year after our winter series, and we're so excited to hear what Jamie has been up to. So without further ado, Jamie, what have you been up to after 1 year of performing, also being a part of a global pandemic, also having been a part of the winter series? What have you been up to?
So much. I mean, I still feel the glow of that time rehearsing and getting to perform with you on that project. And I will say that part of that really made me want to do more short works like this, especially written works like this. So I actually have spent time writing sketches. I've been taking sketch classes and have created some sketches that I'm really proud of and excited about showcasing. So that's something that's been fun to develop since is developing these like short sketches. And a lot of them I feel have to do with things that I care about. So that's been something that's been really fun. In fact, I know that you and I, a while back, remember we were like, we should do a sketch about the healthcare industry
Yes,
and the
yes, I do.
corruption of the way that it works. And so I started, I re-looked at that recently. I was like, this is good. We should keep investing in this. And then also for one of my sketches, wrote a sketch about the healthcare industry from another like angle, which I'm interested in continuing to work on and maybe film. So
That would be so cool. Yeah, we were talking about insurance, I think, right? And we
yeah,
were can we reveal what our analogy was? It's like
yeah, totally.
you are trying to get an umbrella because it's pouring down rain, and they won't tell you how much the umbrella costs or how much it might cost in the future. Very similar to our healthcare system. You don't really know how much anything costs until after you receive the services, and really challenging to make informed decisions sometimes with that being the case.
It's absurd. Like there's no other part of of any other industry where you like don't know the cost
Don't know
estimate
what
where
it
you
is, right?
yeah. So there's that and so many other layers of healthcare problems. So yeah, I'm glad
There's a
that
lot to unpack there.
a lot to unpack.
But what topics are, other than healthcare, and the healthcare industry, what are other topics that you're writing about that are important to you, and how are you incorporating those important topics into your work?
Yeah, I mean, in terms of writing, I care about a lot of different things, but I've been focused mostly in my writing on healthcare, like we just talked about, on environmentalism, which just always like has heat in my body when I think about like there's so many things that I care about in this world, but I try to attend to the things that have actual heat in my body. Like I'm like I know that I can that heat or that passion will drive me forward in looking at this and examining it, even when it gets hard to look at. Also, we're out in the woods still, so just getting to walk. We've been so lucky during this pandemic to have been like basically gifted the chance to be in the woods from a friend who is letting us stay in their house, which is amazing. So just being exposed to this kind of nature and seeing nature through all these seasons has been really amazing, and also has really wanted me to continue to defend this environment and work towards environmental justice, which is linked to all kinds of justice. So that's a big one for me. And then also I've, spent a lot of time just as theater, the theater industry has been looking at, you know, white supremacy culture in relation to theater, in relation to our industry, and then in relation to like the world at large. That's been a big priority of mine to look at my place in that as a white man, as a white cis man, and to figure out look deeper into my identity and how my identity is presented in the world, how it rubs against historic oppression, and how to combat that and to imagine a new way forward and to be part of that new way forward. So I think that's been a big part of my work as a teaching artist. That's really come up in all of the theater companies that I'm a part of, and also as an artist as well, and as just a person to be able to contemplate that and look for a new way forward.
But that is fantastic, Jamie. I think incorporating the things that are important to you in not only your writing and your artistry, but also in how you're expanding artistry for others and in your teaching artist work is really, really awesome. You know, we've all gone through quite a bit in these last 2 years. And I'm just curious, I've learned a lot about myself and about the art I want to put into the world. And so I'm just curious, what have you learned during the pandemic?
This pandemic has just, for me, been about, I mean, I've been lucky enough to have the time in a way, not always, but some time to reflect and think about my values. And I think a lot of that has to do with, where to put my time and also to make more time. I just told someone, I'm like, I didn't have the time to do that. And they're like, that's not true. You didn't prioritize the time to do that. And that is really the truth. So I think it's about, I before the pandemic freelance and work as a teaching artist, an actor, a playwright, and I hustle. Like was so used to the hustle of running around, and I've heard from so many people right now that they're like, we've got to take that hustle down a notch. And for me, that's really resonated. I don't know if that's true for others, but as I'm like going back into in-person situations, I've really had to make decisions around not hustling as much, and that's come at financial costs a little bit. But it's to me, it's okay. Like I know for myself that there's a lot of value in not running around as much as I used to, and also my body's just like, there's no way I'm going to do that anymore. like, no, come on, you remember how to do that?
Yep.
Like, no, we're not. We're
Not
not
doing
doing
it. Not doing it. I love this concept of not hustling. I was just on a workshop for equity centered community design, and what was really interesting is there was this question about urgency and the tie of urgency to productivity, to our ability to time is money, money is important, so therefore we're going to do things as quickly and efficiently and effectively as possible, and be in that constant state of urgency. And how is that connected to white supremacy culture, and how does urgency drive us in an unproductive or an unhealthy way?
right.
um
It's linked to capitalism, and it's linked to
Absolutely.
feeling worthy. Yeah, absolutely.
So that's really, I bet that resonates. I mean, it resonates with me, but I bet it resonates with a lot of artists because yeah, that grind, making sure you've got as many auditions on the books for the week as possible, making sure that you have as many teaching artist gigs as you can squeeze in, as you can commute to, right? I mean,
Yeah.
I was just telling someone else that I used to be in 3 boroughs in a day,
Oh,
sometimes multiple times a week.
I hit 5 once in 24 hours and was
No.
so like, that was like, I wanted a trophy. I mean, that was like a source
Yeah.
of pride.
Yeah, I mean it's insane. And now I commute 20 feet, but it's
Yeah.
such a different vibe now. So that's really beautiful that you've started to slow yourself down, or at least question some of that need for being on the grind every single day. Um, I'm curious about your future projects. So tell us, what are you up to, and what should we look forward to in 2022?
Yeah, thanks. Some of the projects I'm just like, typing away on here. So I don't know when they'll go out, but I will say the things that I'm most passionate about launching in 2022 is a continuation of the book The Giving Tree, which I wrote a screenplay for. It's like a 10-minute piece that we recently did a reading for, and I was really excited about the way that it went. And so now it's a matter of actually filming it, and my partner and I, through our theater company, are going to do it through shadow puppetry. So we're going to do a film that continues the narrative of the Giving Tree, where the Giving Tree, the actual tree, has more of a voice at the end and gets to express their point of view. And we'll do that through shadow puppetry. So that'll be a winter project of like huddling in a room and creating all these shadow puppets for that, and working with voiceover actors to do the characters. And then I co-founded Queer Playback Theater. We're at NYC Queer Playback Theater, and I'm excited about the way that we've continued to adapt over the course of this pandemic to do virtual programming, and we'll continue to do that in the winter and spring of 2022, and just sort of look at opportunities for doing in-person performances. But for now, we're staying virtual, or maybe trying to look at a hybrid model for it. But I've loved staying connected through this project, through NYC Queer Playback Theater, both as an artist and as just a really amazing human connection with this ensemble. So if anybody is interested in joining our ensemble, we're 12 strong, and we're looking for more to come in. So that could also be a fun opportunity to collaborate.
That is awesome. I don't know that everyone understands what playback theater is. Do you have like a brief snippet of what's your elevator pitch for playback theater and why it's cool?
Yeah, it's an art form that it's been going on since time began, probably, but it was really solidified as an art form by Joe Salas and Jonathan Fox many decades ago now. And basically, what it does is people tell a story that's true to their lives, and then that story is played back to them by actors improvising with musicians, with props. And to me, it's a really beautiful way of honoring people's stories, especially for me, honoring the stories of the LGBTQ plus community. Um, Hearing other people's stories, and it's the most empathy I've ever felt as an actor or playing back those stories. So I think there's just a lot of capacity for empathy, for hearing and honoring each other's stories, and for doing it in an artistic way. So I love it.
Jamie, thank you so much. This has just been a pleasure, and we will definitely make sure that the Elevate community has access to Queer Playback Theater and a Light Theater Guild, because those are really incredible organizations that you're a part of that are truly being innovative in this time, right? And I love that you're going to continue the virtual component and think through, what does the hybrid look like, and then potentially transition into that in-person space. Elevate is doing a similar model. We want to make sure everybody is safe and healthy, and also sometimes, I don't know, going back to our slow down culture, like maybe it's okay to just watch things on the Zoom screen for a little while longer, and not rush ourselves into a space that might not be potentially fully safe at this moment. So I'm really excited to hear that you're going to stay virtual, and then everyone across the country, across the world, can actually have access.
Yeah, which is such an exciting component of that. We can't throw everything away from what we've
Right.
gained in this time, right? And also,
Exactly.
I think it's okay to live in the unknown. I mean, it's so day to day right now about where we're going, and what's we only have so much control. So I think it's okay to also admit, like, we're going to keep trying, and we're going to keep coming together and collaborating and being flexible and being in this very liminal unknown space together.
Yes, absolutely. Well, thank you so much, Jamie. Thank you for your time. Thank you for your artistry. Thank you for your continued activism and support for all communities. If you know where to find me if you need anything. Yes, this is so good.
Thank
Uh,
you, Christina. Yeah. And if I can just say, thank you for the way that you truly elevate artists and community, and for the way that you bring us into this really engaging way to connect and to uplift and to make change in this world. So it's really amazing to be part of this community.
Thank you, Jamie.
Yeah.
All right, Elevate fam. You'll see more from behind the scenes of the Elevate Winter series in our next newsletter starting in January 2022. Happy New Year, y'all. We are excited to start anew and continue to elevate and be well.